Certainly, this last road trip, Jana, turnovers in the West Virginia game, didn't have any in the Cincinnati game. Are you prepared for what I think Arizona State's going to throw at you, knowing that turnovers have been a problem?
Yep. Turnovers are part of the game. I had too many. I'm fixing it. And Nikki helps me every single day with it. So, yes, I'm prepared and I'm ready.
I mean, what is your mental preparation going against a team like Arizona, who again likes to cause that havoc? How do you prepare for it?
Yeah, just in practice, preparing for it against our practice guys. They can be pretty aggressive, and so we're working on it. And then mentally be prepared to be poised in those situations, and then have my teammates at my back. So.
I also would like to add, Nikki's really tough on Jana, and Jana continues to take that challenge and meet it and rise to the occasion every single time. So just super proud of how she handles that pressure and makes sure that we're where we need to be and does her job as a point guard.
Thanks, Bill. Love you.
Love you too.
Bella, I guess with how many ever games left, you're still in the conference race. Y'all are tied up there basically. Is that exciting to know that, I mean, it's kind of still in your hands, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Our coaches say every day we have to pick how we're going to show up and that we get to write our own destiny. So we're trying to make deposits every day and be positive and communicate and grow every chance that we get, because we know that every single game for the rest of our conference season, it's the difference in being conference champions or being up there and still being a high seed and having a good opportunity for the conference tournament. But we want a ring. At the end of the day, we want to win and be the best versions of ourselves when the time comes.
Bella, your free throw percentage has taken a big leap this year, and you've been getting to the line a lot lately. Yep. How and your points per game is up really the last few as well, and it seems like a lot have come at the free throw line. How much have you worked on that, and how much is maybe even just getting to the line a part of your focus out there?
It's huge. That's a 4-point swing. Most games for me is if I get to the line a couple times a game, I might go from 5 or 6 points to 9 or 10 points. So it just is like making sure that I'm being aggressive, getting downhill. I love shooting the three. That's been a big part of my game my whole life. But in college, and especially in this physical league, I have to be willing to be like, okay, if they're going to close out hard and maybe fly by because I am a good three-point shooter, why not get to the line and get some easy ones too?
Jenny, you matched your career high in Cincinnati with 19, really active from downtown. How much are you thinking about the three out there? It feels like, you're really thinking about distributing the basketball, but how much do you think of your ability to shoot the three as a weapon for the team?
I think that when I am left open, I've said this before, I need to make that open shot. And I'm more confident shooting now. So, I mean, all game and during Cincinnati, every time I caught it, Bill was like, shoot it!
Yeah.
And so, I would.
And she made him.
So I just have to keep doing that and looking for my shot, because I am a good shooter.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I just got to believe it and do it.
Yeah, back home after kind of a long road trip, what does it mean for you guys just to be back home for these next two big games?
Super grateful. I mean, I made sure I made my bed nice and had my pillows exactly how I wanted them, and I climbed in that bed after we got back from Cincinnati. But just glad to be at home, kind of get back into a routine with some things, and be on our home court. We're really excited to have all of our fans back in Foster tomorrow, and just grateful that we get to do it with each other here at home.
Students, show up.
Yes, please.
And the ones who do, we love you. Thank you.
So, a little bit over halfway in the season, halfway in conference, way over past halfway, but halfway in conference. So what's the mentality going into this latter half? What same mentality, different? What's it look like?
I would say just every day continuing to grow. We talk about 1% better every day and putting our best foot forward. So I would just say the areas, like even the turnovers from game to game, like it was down from West Virginia, and Cincinnati might not have played the exact same style, but we took better care of the ball. Like, we have to do that. We have to progress and get 1% better at everything every single day. So I would just say just staying really focused and taking it one game at a time. We don't ever overlook any opponent in this league, because 1 through 16, we all can make a play and win a game if we need to.
It's also, we're at the point of the season now where people know what you're doing and people have schemes to try to mess with you. So, even Coach Nikki today is like, we need to understand what each specific team is going to do. And so now it's kind of more of a brain game instead of who's better or not.
We've talked about free throws, we've talked about turnovers and the three ball, but both of you talk about Dariana Littlepage Buggs as far as her rebounding goes. Jan, I talked to you on the post game just a while ago that Buggs is now just 19 away from tying the great Alyssa Smith for number 5 all time in rebounding. And when she gets up there and gets those rebounds, the impact on your team is almost just immeasurable.
Yeah, she, oh my gosh, she's so good. Like, I feel like every time I miss, Bugs gets it. So I said this before, but I'm like, thank you, Bugs, thank you, because she always just gets it. She deserves that. She deserves to be in the top 5 and then probably more, depending on what it is. But that when she does that, she brings so much energy to us. When she's doing that, we're all playing up another level just because that brings energy, and we love that.
Yeah, her relentlessness on the glass just makes it easier for us. Like, if I'm not getting a rebound, I can run and get ahead if it's on D, and then we can kind of set up. It kind of opens up lanes for people to drive, kick ahead shots, and that opens up a trail opportunity for her too. So just the way that she rebounds the ball is great. We get so many more second chance opportunities because of her, and I'm just, most of the time I block out and I'm like, hey, go get the ball. That's all you got it.
All right, both of you. I'm going to take a wild guess that you've seen Coach Collins' TV commercials.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite?
Yes.
What are they?
The one where she's like, it's about the drive-through lane. And then somebody came around the corner and she's like, what? And it's just so funny because she's hilarious.
Yes.
I feel like they wrote the Take the Charge one, like, for you.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my second favorite is to take the charge. And she was like, no. And the lady's like,
I think you should take the charge.
yeah.
She's hilarious. I like those videos a
Is
lot.
my question is, does that fit her personality, like being willing to kind of be outgoing and do something like that maybe sounds stupid, but it comes off positive?
Yeah.
Is that who she is?
Very, very much so. I think that you guys don't see the side of Nikki that we see. Like, she's very much a funny, like, cracking jokes.
She's
very
hilarious.
sarcastic, but like she loves to joke. She loves to have fun, and those were right up her alley. Those commercials.
And you were both, I know it wasn't a funny one, but you were both in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about, and what was it like to film that for them?
I don't know how that came about.
CNB is one of our sponsors, so I think that they just kind of were wanting to have the opportunity to collaborate with a few of us girls, and we got lucky,
Yeah.
and Bugs as well, to be the ones chosen. And it was a really cool opportunity. We came in, I think were we off that day? I don't know.
No, it was
But-
after our practice.
But we came in, we got all cute, whatever, after practice. And they had dinner and scripts for us, and we did like our little talking in front of the camera, and then we filmed some B-roll stuff. But it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. It was a great group to work with, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, super grateful for that. That was fun.
Bella, you're a communications major. What was your major? Communications?
Yes.
So, I mean, I know basketball is certainly something you probably want to pursue, but is being on camera something that
Absolutely.
you're good at it?
Thank you.
Is that
means-
something that you
means a
were
lot.
comfortable with?
Yeah, absolutely. I love basketball so much. Like, I kid you not, my mom and dad met at college playing basketball together, and my dad trained. He played overseas, and whenever he would come home, he would train, and I had like a little playpen in the corner of the gym that he would train in. So that is all I've known my whole life. So I know it so well, and I love the way that I connect with people. So whether it's calling games and doing commentary or talking about players off the court and what they're passionate about, I would love to do that.
Bella's a journalism major?
I actually had to switch. I had to switch to finish. Yes, because all of my broadcast classes were during practice. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm still a journalism grad at heart. We're just gonna.
She could also write. She's a good writer.
Thank you. Sick 'em.
Woo!
With Arizona State, obviously, I think they're probably gonna, pressure you. And are you prepared for that? How are you getting the team ready to kind of face a team that likes to, force some turnovers? And what's your game plan going against Arizona State and what you expect from them?
Well, now, if I gave you our full game plan, it would be like leaving our practice plan for their practice tonight. So,
How do you mentally prepare your team for those turnovers?
I think sometimes, one of the things I showed them today was film of us against Grand Canyon last year, because while every player is different, the system is similar. The commitment to defense, the help in the gap, the rotation in the paint, just the aggressive nature of how they play. The goal to take charges while you're running in transition, things like that. And telling them, like, you're going to get fouled. I watched when they played Gonzaga early in the season, and they did a halftime interview with Lisa, the coach of Gonzaga, and they were down. Obviously, it was a really good game, and Arizona State won. But Lisa said at halftime, like, I told my team, like, you will get fouled every possession. And so you just have to understand that it's not going to get called, and you got to play through it. And I thought they handled it better coming out of halftime and made it a really competitive game. And it was great for our league and Arizona State to win that game, because winning at Gonzaga is not an easy thing. But you prepare them for the physicality. I mean, our guys were reaching, grabbing, raking, and creating early rotation. And I think it's us understanding that we've got to get off the ball. Like trying to drive through tight spaces is not going to be very effective against them. You have to create closeouts and move the basketball and, work for great shots, because their first level is really good, and they're going to be in those gaps, and they're going to protect the paint. And, they just play really, really hard. It's a staple of who, Molly Miller is as a coach, and this team has bought into it the same way her Grand Canyon team did. So they play really hard on defense.
I know West Virginia and Cincinnati are different teams, but are you happy with how Jana kind of bounced back after maybe a tougher game against West Virginia and their pressure against Cincinnati and what she did?
Yeah, obviously, West Virginia brought multiple people at her, and there was more trapping, and we were certainly ready for Cincinnati to trap us more, and they didn't. But I thought her poise was a lot better, even when they put the token, kind of tandem pressure up the court each time. She's just got to use a retreat dribble. We've talked a lot about retreat dribble, changing speeds, creating space. We don't replicate West Virginia. It's just they're really hard to replicate, and I think they did a really good job of mixing defenses on us, and we didn't always handle it. We've seen more zone against them than man, and we probably saw a 50-50 or 60-40 man to zone split against them this last time, which was unusual and effective. And so, we just have to keep growing in terms of what each team can do. And while what Jada Walker could do against a press is different, it doesn't mean we can't effectively break presses more with the pass or more with a team approach than, hey, Jada Walker's just fast, put the ball in her hands, and she's hard. Like you look at our end of game execution in terms of getting the ball inbounds. Everyone in the gym knows Talia Scott's a 90% foul shooter. We'd love to get it to her. It was really easy to get Jada Walker the ball. She's just faster than everybody, and so we have to find different ways to get the ball where we need it to go. And I thought late in the Cincinnati game when we got in Talia and they doubled her, we threw it to Bella, who drove baseline, kicked it, and we were able to run 10 seconds off before they fouled, and we got it back in Talia's hands. Like that was really good execution. And that might look different than inbounding it to Jada and her just dribbling around and people trying to chase her and where they can't catch her. So we have to understand our own personnel and be good at what this team can be great at.
not that you haven't had some close games, but the benefit of that one with Cincinnati it's nip and tuck right there to the end. Can that be a benefit that y'all finished the way you needed to?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially anyone who says that losing doesn't take a toll on your confidence is not being truthful. Like, teams they fight for their mojo, and then you get on these streaks, and then when all of a sudden it's like, oh, West Virginia kind of took that from us. You got to work to get it back. No different than when we were wounded after Texas beat us, and we had to work to get it back. So I think it's this team has done a good job of rebounding from losses and not allowing, one loss to turn into two. And so I was proud of them. I think it was one of our poor defensive efforts, start to finish, in terms of, really executing at that end and switching when we were supposed to switch and staying home when we were supposed to stay home. And, I don't think that was one of our better defensive games. And I also thought Cincinnati played well, and you don't show up anywhere in this league with Baylor across your chest and a number in front of your name and not get people's best shot. I mean, the Crawford kid was shooting under 20%. And she was 3 for 5 from 3, and so, sometimes when you play with a fearlessness because you're not expected to win, it gives people a lot of confidence. Like Houston put 2 bank shots in against us from 3, people are just going to take them. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to miss, so when you're expected to win, you have a little bit more of a tightness about, how you play.
It's not about just like stats and awards, but what has it meant this past week to see Talia Scott and Dariana Littlepage Buggs both be finalists, recognized as really some of the top 10 performers at their positions this year?
Yeah, I mean, it probably has a little something to do with us getting to 20 wins. I think Talia has consistently put 20 on the boards, and it started with Duke, and you're surprised every time she doesn't. She's going to find a way, whether it's from the free throw line or getting hot from 3 or playing downhill. Like, she finds a way to put the ball in the bucket, and her teammates have learned to find her and screen for her, and when she misses, rebound for her. And that's something Buggs has recognized. Like, Talia missed a corner 3, and Buggs gets the offensive rebound and the putback. So it kind of goes hand in hand. And, our kids should understand if Talia gets an open shot, she should probably shoot it, which means we should go rebound, the backside. And so it's been good to see Buggs, really play. I thought, the layup she missed couple layups early in the Cincinnati game were real uncharacteristic for her relative to the shots she got, because I think she's pretty much putting everything in around the rim right now. And whether that's off the glass or in transition or in our half court, we were slipping against Houston, whatever it is, she's just been really efficient in the paint. And so seeing her free throws go in again and all of those things, I think Buggs is just one of those players. I said to her, we were in the team room and she was singing, and I just said, I'm really, really going to miss you. Like, it's just hard to picture, this program without Buggs, because she's put such an imprint on not just this program, but my heart and everyone who comes into contact with her, and she admitted it was going to be really hard for her too. So that always feels good.
I want to ask you, too, about the Play for K clinic and getting to see your players interact with a lot of girls and students from the community, and just really the whole weekend, just the involvement in that.
Well, when you think about Jimmy V and you think about Kay Yao and the impact they had in this space, and how we get opportunities to play for something bigger than ourselves. And I just think the Play for K initiative and breast health awareness is important, and our players' ability to give back to young kids in a free setting, when they work camp, they get paid to work camp. But when they do these type of things, it's genuinely in that role model mode. And it's really cool that a lot of the kids that come to camp want to come back to the clinic to be around our players. And you can see them all run up and hug the girls in those moments. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to find ways to give back, in this case for breast health awareness.
All right, I know you've done TV before, but what was your first impression when they brought you these scripts for these commercials? What was your response?
Yeah, well, I've been on TV before, but it was always, color commentary. So definitely have never shied away from the camera or the mic, so never fearful that way. But when I will admit, when I got the scripts last year, I had originally pictured the standing there, basically reading a teleprompter, type of commercial, kind of local broadcast. So to have a full production and a script, I remember reading them and think, this is going to go really well, or they're going to be way too cheesy. Like it's going to be one or the other. But to see people lean in, especially, with Craig and the donut, to have fans say, take the charge with a sign a year ago, I think it's been really clever. And I think it's been a good connection for our program and the bank and the Waco community. And I just have fun. Like I've never had any problem making fun of myself or understanding. When we did the first commercial, I actually did get asked if I had any acting experience because it appeared as I did, and I said no. But sometimes I coach and sometimes I act like a coach, and so I just tried to have a good time with it. So lean into the role.
Do you have a favorite, and do you feel bad for yelling at Craig so much?
Oh, do I have a favorite? Probably the donut is my favorite, but I would say that the drive-through is probably my favorite from this year. I do think the portal is very on trend, so I thought that was fun, and it was actually an easy shoot because I got to sit the whole time. But you'd be surprised at how many times I said those lines over and over and over again from every camera angle and with different voice inflections. And I'll tell you, it's funny, like you get coached in that the same way you do on a basketball floor, like a little more energy or a little more this or a little more questioning, and and the producer would say it, and then you would try really hard to say it the way he wanted to, but then you would sound real awkward because it wouldn't feel like. So yeah, we had a good time though.
How good was it to see? I know it's a kind of a different partnership, but to see Bella and Bugs and Jana get their opportunity to kind of be in front of the camera and have that partnership kind of go that way.
Yeah, I think that was the best part for me doing the commercials last year was. They loved the partnership and what they were able to get out of it as well, and to lean into 3 of our seniors made me want to do them again, because it really is about, especially in this day and age, finding ways in the NIL space to help your players, and this was a really good way to do it. So really grateful that the bank stepped up and looked out for them and kind of leaned into the partnership from that perspective too. I
know Bella's probably got a basketball future in her, like playing, but do you think she can be in front of a camera if she wants to? Yeah, Bella, I think I've said from the minute I started recruiting Bella that she could be the next president of the United States if she wants to, and that is not a politically driven statement, just so you know. I do not know if she's Republican or Democratic. But I believe that she's someone that is smart, is beautiful, is articulate. Like she, is very confident
in front of the camera. And so I think she could do a lot of things in front of the camera, whether it's talk about basketball or talk about other interests. You know, she was our Big 12 ambassador to DC and then got to go to Mexico City. And so she's done a really good job representing our program, not just on the basketball floor.
Coach, you know, watching this team, anyone watching this team from the outside looking in over these past 4 years, I think it can be easy to get emotional thinking about these three. Jana, Bella, I mean, I can get emotional right now talking about it. Why do you love coaching them? What do they mean to you? And
Oh,
of
wow.
course
Like, it's not even senior day
I know.
yet. You like want to get me started on, you know, I think Jana's story for me, when I started recruiting Jana, first of all three have amazing families. And I think so often it starts there, you know, when it comes to these players, these kids when they come. But you know, Jana won a national championship, but rarely saw the floor. And there was something in her that I identified with so much, having played on a Final Four team that I didn't get a lot of minutes on when I played at Purdue. And just her eagerness and the way she wears her heart on her sleeve and cares so much. And, you know, one of the things I appreciated about Jana from the minute she got here is she says thank you to bus drivers and to ushers. And, you know, there's a gratitude for what she has here and what this experience has meant for her. And so, you know, I've gotten to ride the highs with her and the lows with her, the off-court relationship woes, you know, all the things. You know, she's like become one of mine, and no one's more excited than me besides her and her parents. They definitely win that, to see her succeed and to see her come back from injury and, you know, lead a team, you know, because she was a valuable member of our team the whole time she's been here. But I think the role she's in this year was one you aspire to, especially as a point guard. So just like a really, really intelligent person that has like fallen in love with Waco, you know, to the point she talks about staying, you know, and so it isn't just me and it's not just Baylor, but it's the community that has really embraced her, which is special. Bella is someone that, you know, full transparency, when I got the job, I basically reached out to any kid in the top 50 that hadn't committed already. And she was someone that was one of my very first calls as a head coach, because I was looking through the top 50 list, and then I was checking their social media out to see if they were committed somewhere, because that's not always readily available. And she had scripture in her bio, so that's why I started, because that's always a good place to start when you're coaching at a religious affiliated school. And so, you know, I had to win Bella over, I had to win Carolyn over, I had to win Will over, I had to win Tripp over her younger brother. You know, we had to go through 5 full visits and wondering if she would make it to all 5 visits. You know, but I think one of the things that I remember talking to Bella's dad, you know, even this fall, and he said, you know, one of the biggest reasons Bella picked you is one of the things you said to her is in the recruiting process is people are going to doubt me following Coach Mulkey. And Bella was someone in the top 15 at some point, and then tore her ACL and had to work her way back and never rose in the rankings to where she was at. So people doubted her, and there were people trying to jump back in with her late because she had such a good summer. But it was like they had backed off when she got hurt. And so there was this like parallel in terms of like proving people wrong and doing it together. And so, you know, she's been a part-time starter, a full-time starter her whole career. She's found a way to impact us at the defensive end. She's found a way to impact us in the community. You know, all these guys are going to get Baylor degrees and on time, and Jana with a master's. And so she's just been a good ambassador and obviously an elite player in our program that's been all defensive. You know, Bugs, I'll never forget early practices because we'd signed Asia Blackwell in the portal, and Bugs was like 120 pounds soaking wet her freshman year. And Asia would just, I mean, and I don't mean in a real bullish way, but Asia tried to bully Bugs on the floor. And she won a lot of battles. But Bugs always came back up. Not swinging, you know, but like she never backed down from Asia. And that told me a little bit about who she was from a freshman, that she was just going to find a way. Like, she started out as she couldn't necessarily grab every rebound in a crowd because she wasn't strong enough. And we dealt with tight quads, and we dealt with a lot of different things. But she's been probably, of every kid I've ever coached at every level, one of the most, if not the most consistent humans. The way she shows up every day, the way she shows up for her teammates, the way she shows up to practice, coming back from a meniscus tear, like you just, there's one thing I'm sure of, is the way she's going to show up. And that's why, you know, at one point I referred to her as my security blanket, because she may not make shots, she may not get every defensive assignment right, but she's going to go to the glass and she's going to ride for her teammates. And no one celebrates her teammates more than her, whether she's having a great game or she's not having a great game. She cares about winning, and she's just a winner. I mean, she's been a winner in middle school, was a state champion in high school. She's just a winner. So you got a lot of material for senior day there. But yeah, really awesome group. You know, Kyla's obviously got another year, so we're going to not talk about her right now. Yeah, okay. I love people, and I kind of love this game, so those are 3 great ones. Thank you.